my history with Monster Hunter wasn't that good. My first walk through the Monster Hunter series was with Monster Hunter World, and I only got through it because I saw just how many of my friends were playing it. And although I was very interested in the story, very interested in the combat, I just could never get behind it, man. I feel that the learning curve for this game, for this series, was extremely steep. First of all, they put you, when you first started Monster Hunter World, you were giving the options to choose any and all weapons. There's a multitude of weapons that you can choose. There's lances, there's sword and shield, there's a type of gun, there's long swords, there's just hammers, axes, switch axes, just a bunch of different ways that you can play this game, and then you can fight monsters in this game. But there was the tutorial, it was probably me. I'm not the best tutorial follower in the world, but after like 10 to 15 hours of Monster Hunter World, I just could not get behind it, man. Like there was a point where I was just like, I just reached a wall. I was like, I can't advance anymore. Like, I don't know what I have to do to get stronger. I've upgraded my armor, I've upgraded my weapons. I don't know what to do anymore. But Monster Hunter Rise completely swept all of that under the rug and said, you know what, let's try this again. Let's approach onboarding in a more completely different way. And that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what Capcom did. Monster Hunter Rise starts out with, the story. Monster Hunter games are not known for their story. It's really, the story, you can have it or you can't, and it'll be the same game at the end. Like that, to me, I really don't care about the story. But the story, if you must know, the story is, there's basically, you live in a village, Komura village, and the threat of a rampage happening is coming closer and closer. You hear about these big monsters that are rampaging through the world, and they're coming straight for you and your village, and you have to stop them. And that's when like the problems start arising. That's when you find out about these humongous and great and epic monsters that are apparently eating each other, that are apparently trying to attack the village, and you just got to stop them with the help of everybody in the village. But yes, this is where Monster Hunter deviates from the classic Monster Hunter formula. This game is a lot better at putting you straight into the action. As soon as you first start, you're already fighting monsters. You're already being put out there on the world. You're already out there being put out on training areas. You're already giving a Palico and a Palamute, which I'll go further into detail about it, which are basically just your sidekicks or your companions, and you're basically just given all the tools to succeed way before you even start the game. And this is something that I thought I would hate. I honestly thought I would hate, because I'm a huge fan of games such as Breath of the Wild that put you out into the world, into the mean, huge, barren world, and they're not shy about killing you. They'll kill you on the first sight. It's, yo, where you from? Bam, kill you right there. Monster Hunter isn't like that. Monster Hunter gives you all the tools to succeed before you even fight your first monster, and I appreciated that. I appreciate it because it doesn't talk down to you. It's not a game that says, hey, you're dumb, we're gonna give you all the tools because you need to succeed to enjoy the game. No, it's not like that. They give you all the tools, but they do put you out into the world, and they kind of let you just kind of, yo, you have everything, just fight, just figure it out. And it's fun. I, at first, when I was playing Monster Hunter World, I used to be a hammer main. I love hammers. I don't know why. I'm always attracted to heavy weapons. I like heavy weapons. I like being heavies on whenever you like play MOBAs. I'm always a heavy. I'm always playing tank and stuff. I don't know why, man. I just like the slow pace. I like the slow pace of a tank, of a heavy. I don't know. I think they enjoy life a lot more. But as soon as I started playing Monster Hunter Rise, I quickly learned that there's new features in the game that give you way more mobility. So that's great for me. as a heavy. That's great for me as a hammer main. That's great for me as a longsword main. Which, by the way, man, shout out to the longsword. I think it is the best weapon in the game. It's a well balanced weapon. It has great damage. It has great mobility, and plus, besides all that, you have access to new features. New features being palicos, which we already know about the palicos from Monster Hunter World, but you also have palamutes, which are the doggies. The doggies in this game work as sidekicks, but they also help you traverse the arena, so to speak, a lot faster. You can mount them. And also, when you're riding your palamutes, you're not only just limited to riding the palamute, you are also given the ability to sharpen your weapon. You get given the ability to heal. You're given the ability to attack. You're given the ability to climb walls. You're basically giving any and all the tools that you already have on foot, but with a mount. And that completely changed the game. You can say that it makes the game easier, but believe me, it comes in clutch. When you're fighting a big boss that can one hit you, that can destroy you on just one hit. Shout out to Magna Mallow, man, that motherfucker's scary, and that he can kill you in one hit. But having the ability to mount your palamute and start sharpening your weapon while you're evading attacks, it just adds, it doesn't take away from the experience. It adds a layer of excitement. It adds a layer of just emotion. Like you're just on the edge of your seat, like, damn, like I gotta sharpen my weapon real quick. I gotta drink some potions real quick. I gotta drink an antidote because I'm falling asleep. Apparently you fall asleep in this game. But it adds so much, something so little that can be deemed as a handicap, that can be deemed as a, well, not handicap, but it can be deemed as something unfair given to your advantage to make the game easier, is not. It just adds to the game experience so much, and it just feels so refreshing, and it feels so fast paced. It's just, I love it. I love it. I love the customization that you can give, you know, besides your character. You can get customize your palico, which is the cat, and you can customize the palamute, which is the dog. And it's fun. It's great. It's amazing. I never saw Monster Hunter as a quirky game. I played World, but I always felt like a very charming game. But I never felt as a game with a lot of character. But Monster Hunter Rise like made me dwell deep into the different mechanics of the game of Monster Hunter, that it made me appreciate just how charismatic this game is. Your sidekicks are charismatic. The cats that, sorry, I'm gonna call them cats. I know it's not the right term, but that cook the food for you. It's such a great franchise, and I'm upset with myself for not being open to more of these games, to looters, to just these types of games, these quest games, and you know, games that you can play with up to 3 other people, and like just going on hunts. It's just fun. And I'm upset with myself that I didn't give myself that opportunity with Monster Hunter World to really dive myself into it. But Monster Hunter Rise made that a lot easier for me, because I'm a very impatient person, but with the ability to mount your palamute and traverse the world, with the ability of using wire bugs, which had me feeling like Spider-Man, Miles Morales, it makes traversing the world so much more fun. It made exploration so much more fun. It gives you incentive to climb walls. It gives you incentive to, if you see something up there, like it brought me back to the world, or to the state of mind that Breath of the Wild put me in. Like, if you see something shiny over there, you better go and explore it, because it's probably some treasure, and you're probably gonna enjoy it, and you're probably gonna love what you're gonna find up there. The wire bugs gave me that. The wire bugs are kind of like they're wires, they're bugs that work as wires, that they'll bring you up, and then they shoot you up into the sky, or they shoot you forward, and also give you the ability to attack monsters in a different way, and in a more engaging and super fun and kind of anime way. I love using my wire bug with the longsword, man. That thing feels great whenever you hit a ZLX combination on a monster's head, and then you just like slash through them, and then you just turn around and put your sword away, and then just a bunch of different hits hit the monster. Oh, it makes me feel like Tanjiro. Shout out Tanjiro, one of the best anime protagonists out there. I don't care what y'all say. But yes, wire bugs, palamutes, such great additions to the game. It just added a whole new layer to this game that I just didn't think it had in the first place, which is exploration. Exploration is great. It's great in this game. Multiplayer on this game, I will say, is ace. I think is one of the best multiplayer experiences that you can get on the Nintendo Switch. As you all know, the Monster Hunter Rise demo was one of the first, or it was basically the test bench for Nintendo's new server system that they put in place, and it works great. I'm completely amazed with how little issues I've had with multiplayer in this game. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm playing on Nintendo Switch. Like, I'll talk later about the engine. I'll talk later about just the magic that the developers at Capcom put into place for this game to work. I'll talk about that later. But regardless of that, there's no lag, there's no stuttering, there's no drop frames, there's nothing, there's no connection issues. I've had one, and that was because of me. That was because I was away, very, very far away from the modem. But I've had zero, absolutely nothing when it comes to dropping connection during multiplayer matches. Multiplayer works very similarly to single player. You basically go out on these quests. They're called hub quests, and you can either host a lobby or you can join lobbies. And when you join lobbies, you can go to different quests, you know, with the people that you're on the lobby with. You can also send, or you can accept a hub quest with the join request, which means that you basically start the quest by yourself, and then people will join the quest later on while you're doing the quest, which is super fun. You know, it's very fun to be playing with like different people from around the world, and it's just amazing. It's just fun. It's like, wow, I like this idea of teaming up with strangers around the world and just going for it, you know, having the same objective, and it's all universal. Like, you don't have to tell people what to do, because in essence, like, even though you're playing together, you're kind of doing your own thing, but since it's the same objective, you're all reaching the same goal. There's not that issue that you run into multiplayer games of having to like tell people what to do. Like, if one of y'all mess up, you all mess up, and it's a fun experience, and I've enjoyed it so much. And I will say, man, shout out to the Monster Hunter community. You guys are some of the least toxic people out there. Jesus Christ, man. I was testing out how to capture a monster for the first time, because I didn't know how to capture monsters till literally yesterday. I'm recording this on the 8th, so the 7th, which is almost 2 weeks since its release. I didn't know how to capture monsters. I never learned how to do it in World. I just wasn't paying attention, I think. But like, if somebody you're playing with on multiplayer sees you put down a trap, they'll literally not try and kill the monster. They'll lure the monster into your trap, and then you tranquilize it, and then you both win. And it's just fun. It's great. It's so refreshing not having to fight people on the internet. So it's been super duper fun. One of my last bullet points that I have right here for this game is rampages. Rampages are basically this game's main story vehicle. Like, it's the main story drive. Rampages are basically protect your fort type of deal. I don't know how to explain this game mode. I know there's a technical term for it, but sorry, I'm not the best with words, and I'm running on a blank right here. By the way, this is one of my first ever non-scripted reviews, and I think I'm doing a great job, so I'm just gonna use words. I'm gonna improvise. Rampages, it basically consists of you setting up lines of defenses so you can defend the gates to your village from an oncoming rampage of monsters. And it combines both that, you setting up areas with weapons, setting up areas with balisters, with setting up with cannons, setting up with automated cannons, setting up bombs and stuff. It combines that with the Monster Hunter main play, like main focus type of gameplay, which is you actually slashing and dicing monsters, and I find that really, really fun. And I think this type of game mode would never work as well on World, because World didn't have as much mobility as Monster Hunter Rise does. And it's just great that you're able to like jump from platform to platform, from line of defense to line of defense with a wire bug so seamlessly. It makes traversing the world so much better, so much less frustrating. But believe me, it does not make the rampages any easier. They are so hard. They're so hard. I streamed on Monday, and believe me, I was losing my cool, man. I was playing with someone else and I was losing my cool. It gets intense. It gets pretty intense, but it is fun. It is fun. I will say the armor, customization, everything and anything from this game is so charming. It's so unique. It just, every time I boot up Monster Hunter Rise, I feel good. I feel happy. I feel like, oh, this is gonna be great. Even if I lose all my hunts, even if I don't succeed at what I'm trying to do, I still have fun in the process. Like, even the fails feel so satisfying. I don't know what it is. I think the game just is very good at rewarding you every single step of the way. Whether the end goal is you capturing a part for the monster so you can get this type of armor, even if you fail at capturing that certain monster or whatever, you still get a reward at the end of that. Even after a mission fails, you still get a reward. So it's punishing, but it's never cruel. The gameplay is punishing, but it's never cruel, and I love that. I love that game. I feel that this game is going to surpass the 5 million units sold easily. If not, they already surpassed it. I'm sure they already surpassed it. But with the promise that there's going to be a constant update, there's going to be, which I'm imagining is going to be DLC, just as Iceborne was DLC for Monster Hunter World. I'm pretty sure it's going to be DLC for this game, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be added, a lot of added content, a lot of added quests, a lot of added monsters to this game. And shout out to Capcom for creating one of the best looking Switch games to date. This game is beautiful. It runs in the RE engine, which is an engine that was created by Capcom, and it runs great. Like, Jesus Christ, the stuff, you might be on a lobby with 4 people. You're all fighting this big ass monster, which is like 200 times your size, and there's no drop frames, there's no lag, there's no stuttering, there's nothing, man. There's no loading times between you fast traveling from one place, from one camp to the other. There's nothing, man. I seriously, I think the biggest load times is you booting up the Switch. From you booting up the Switch to capturing a monster or defeating a monster, the biggest load time is you booting up the actual hardware. I swear to God, it is one of the fastest loading games I've ever played on my Switch, and that is amazing. That speaks wonders of the team over at Capcom. They're doing some kind of magic, but it's working for them, and I commend them. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Monster Hunter Rise, I do not give out grades for these types of games because everything is subjective, but I will say, buy this game. Buy it right now. Buy it. You're losing time. You're losing precious hunting time if you don't get this game. So go and get Monster Hunter Rise.